Мария Пытина лидирует, 15-3 ведет. Уже вот
Да.
такой каскад приемов и очередная атака в исполнении Марии Пытиной завершила, напоминающие танцы. На самом деле девчонки так заряжены, но вот
Силу покидают.
Fantastic. Oh, shot! Unbelievable! Oh! She does it! A 10-8 round as oh my goodness. The more you see that shot, dirtier it becomes. Timing on that was absolutely fantastic.
Women's MMA has seen some of the most jaw-dropping, bone-chilling knockouts in recent years, and 2025 has already delivered some of the most terrifying finishes in the sport's history. The evolution of women's mixed martial arts has brought forth an era of high-level striking, devastating power, and surgical precision that has led to some of the scariest knockouts ever witnessed inside the cage. From lightning-fast head kicks to brutal one-punch KOs. The sheer ferocity of these finishes has left audiences in awe and opponents unconscious before they even hit the mat. The raw power and technique displayed in these knockouts prove that women's MMA has reached an elite level where every fight can end in an instant. One of the most memorable knockouts of 2025 came when a rising star delivered a vicious spinning backfist that sent her opponent crashing to the canvas in mere seconds. The sheer impact of the strike echoed throughout the arena, leaving fans in stunned silence before erupting into cheers. It wasn't just a knockout itself, but the way her opponent fell. Stiff as a board, eyes rolled back, completely unconscious before she even hit the ground. The slow motion replays made it even more haunting, showing the way the punch landed with perfect precision, twisting her opponent's neck in a way that made even the most hardcore fight fans wince. Moments like these remind everyone that in MMA, a single mistake can lead to an instant and terrifying end. Another brutal finish came from a veteran fighter known for her striking power, proving once again why she's one of the most dangerous women in the sport. Facing an undefeated prospect, she countered a reckless rush with a picture-perfect right hook that shut off the lights immediately. The moment of impact was so severe that her opponent's legs gave out before she collapsed, lying motionless on the mat as the referee frantically waved off the fight. The silence that followed was eerie, as medical staff rushed in to ensure the fighter's safety. It was a stark reminder of how devastating the sport can be, and why even the toughest competitors need to be cautious with every move they make. A particularly terrifying knockout came in a highly anticipated championship fight, where the defending champion showcased why she was at the top of the division. The challenger, an aggressive striker known for pushing the pace, walked straight into a head kick that connected with perfect timing. The impact was so violent that the challenger was out cold before her body even hit the ground. The slow motion replay showed the full force of the shin connecting with the jaw, sending shockwaves through her entire body. The champion stood over a fallen opponent, expressionless, as the referee pulled her away. It was a kind of knockout that immediately goes viral, sending chills down the spines of fight fans across the world.
Just a nasty knee right there on the feet as well. That's what dropped.
トータル
どっちもできます。で僕は野尻選手見ててもやっぱどちらかというと本番に強いタイプなので、こういう大舞台だと結構
どうしても前がかりになりますからね、野尻が。はい、天下冷静に斉藤が左。さあ残り2分以上ある。ジャブで距離を作る。冷静です斉藤。これもタックルは。
Richards a great wrapped away and he's right, you have a couple there going. Miri is absolutely pinned down by Pedroni.
Yeah, protect yourself!
She's trying, of course she can't move. Fight's over! Victory for Fabiola Pedroni! And look at it, just fits in. here. She's like, look, man, I'm going to do this all night long. And a good referee is going to stop it. Right.
FB doing something she wasn't doing in the first round. Backing away.
That body shot might have stopped it. Yep. And the referee's going to call it. That body shot just did not work. Yep.
Don't call it too early. Let's see. We might have a replay of the strike in question.
Okay. She's in trouble. She's in big trouble. She's out on her feet. She's out on her feet. Jim having a look at it. She's going to stop before this fight's over. Holy shit. I thought she was really stunned here, and then here she's out of it here. Like Jim Purdius is just yelling at her, but there's just nothing going on right there. That was the...
Oh, she just took a big shot. Yeah. Big left hand by Sasha Lopez. She's got her against the cage. She's landing bombs.
One of the scariest moments of the year involved a shocking elbow knockout that had the entire MMA community buzzing. In a heated grudge match, both fighters came out swinging, exchanging heavy blows in the opening round. But just when it seemed like the fight was settling into a war of attrition, one fighter launched a spinning elbow that landed flush on her opponent's temple. The sound of the impact alone was enough to send shivers down the spine, and the result was immediate. Her opponent dropped like a sack of bricks, eyes staring blankly into the ceiling. It was one of those moments where the celebration was subdued, as the victor herself looked shaken by the devastation she had just caused. The unpredictability of MMA is what makes knockouts like these even more horrifying. Some come out of nowhere, changing the entire course of fight in a split second. One such moment came when an underdog, written off by most analysts, landed a perfectly timed knee as her opponent shot in for a takedown. The knee connected squarely with the chin, lifting her opponent off the ground before she crumpled lifelessly onto the mat. The crowd erupted in disbelief, while the commentary team was left momentarily speechless by the brutality of the finish. It was an underdog story turned into a nightmare for the fallen fighter, reminding everyone that in this sport, anything can happen at any time. Another terrifying knockout happened when a fighter known for her lethal boxing skills delivered a highlight reel uppercut that instantly shut off her opponent's lights. The opponent had been dominating the fight up until that point, landing crisp combinations and controlling the pace. But all it took was one well-placed uppercut to turn the tide in the blink of an eye. The victim of the knockout collapsed in a heap, completely unresponsive as the referee rushed in to stop any further damage. It was a classic case of it only takes one, proving once again that in MMA, dominance means nothing if you get caught by the perfect shot. One of the most unnerving knockouts of 2025 came in a bout between two grapplers, where striking wasn't expected to be a major factor. However, as one fighter attempted to close the distance for a takedown, she was met with a brutal overhand right that instantly separated her from consciousness. The way her body folded upon impact was unsettling, and the camera zoomed in to capture her lifeless expression as she lay on the mat. The suddenness of the finish left even her opponent in shock, taking a step back as she realized the damage she had just inflicted. It was a chilling reminder that even fighters known for their ground game can deliver devastating knockouts when the opportunity arises.
That is the result.
And the key thing right here, when she went down, this that she's doing right here is exactly what Jessica that I was telling you. Look, when you're in this position, you let her hold on to your arm.
E aí as lutas da cor vermelha. Tá bem potente essa Vani. De novo, solta bem ali, ó. Bela combinação. Olha como ela vai agressiva. E... Nossa Senhora!
Cala a boca. E, meu, imagina uma striker.
Olha lá,
Então, imagina ela e a Gabi tocando soco.
mamãe.
A Gabi que vai entrar nisso. Wszystkiego, która mi się napatrzyła w pierwszym bicie. Kamka była 3-3.
Women's MMA has come a long way, and the scariest knockouts of 2025 prove just how far the sport has evolved. The level of striking, the precision, and the sheer power on display rival anything seen in men's MMA, and in some cases surpass it every year. The bar gets raised higher, and fighters continue to push the boundaries of what is possible inside the cage. The unpredictability of these knockouts, the sheer violence of finishes, and the reactions from fans and fighters alike make these moments unforgettable. They serve as a testament to the skill, danger, and excitement that make MMA one of the most thrilling sports in the world. With each terrifying knockout, the legend of these fighters grows, etching their names into the history books of the sport. The fear they instill in future opponents, the highlights that will be replayed for years to come, and the gas they elicit from audiences worldwide prove that women's MMA is not just about technique and strategy. It's about raw, unfiltered violence. Whether it's a perfectly timed punch, a thunderous kick, or a shocking elbow, the scariest knockouts of 2025 have left a lasting impact on the sport and ensured that fans will be talking about them for years to come. The world of women's MMA in 2025 has reached a level of intensity that fans could have only dreamed of a decade ago, with fighters evolving in speed, power, and striking technique. Some of the knockouts witnessed this year have been downright terrifying. Each event seems to bring a new highlight reel finish, one that leaves audiences holding their breath as fighters crumple to the canvas in unconscious heaps. Whether the devastating punch, a perfectly timed head kick, or a brutal knee, these knockouts have sent shockwaves through the MMA community, proving that the women's divisions are more dangerous than ever before. One of the most brutal knockouts of the year came in a high-profile contender bout where a young, rising star was looking to prove herself against a veteran striker. The fight started with both fighters exchanging powerful shots, but it quickly became clear that one had the edge in power. Midway through the second round, a perfectly executed left hook landed square on the chin, instantly shutting off the lights. The veteran's body went limp as she collapsed backward, hitting the canvas in a sickening thud. The referee sprinted in to stop the fight, but the damage had already been done. The sight of the fallen fighter, motionless for minutes, was enough to silence even the most enthusiastic crowd. Another shocking moment came when the dominant champion, known for her relentless pressure and striking, delivered a front kick to the face that left her opponent unconscious for several minutes. The technique was eerily similar to Anderson Silva's legendary knockout over Vitor Belfort, but somehow even more violent. The moment the kick landed, the challenger's body stiffened, her arms frozen in midair before she fell backward, completely lifeless. The commentary team gasped as the referee waved off the fight instantly, realizing there was no need for follow-up shots. It was a kind of knockout that immediately became an all-time great highlight, one that will be replayed endlessly in the years to come.
That's just hitting the target more often.
Oh, and both fighters go.
Huge fifth round.
And then the fighters come back to the ring again.
There's double.
Road Warrior and Angelisa the Cyborg versus Michael Venom.
Submission lost for Sean Punch, who has taken his steps. Punch, who has taken his steps. Look out.
In another terrifying moment, a fight that had been a back-and-forth war ended in the blink of an eye with a spinning heel kick that connected perfectly to the temple. The impact was so precise that the fighter on the receiving end dropped like a puppet whose strings had been cut. Her legs folded underneath her as her head hit the mat, and for several long seconds, she didn't move. The victorious fighter celebrated briefly before realizing the severity of what had just happened, her expression shifting from joy to concern. The eerie silence in the arena was a reminder of just how dangerous this sport can be. One of the most frightening knockouts of the year came in a fight where the underdog delivered a shocking upset with a flying knee that landed so cleanly it sent her opponent into an unconscious freefall. The setup was perfect. The favorite was pressing forward, looking to land a big combination, but she didn't see the knee coming. The impact was brutal, lifting her off her feet before she crashed onto the mat, completely unresponsive. The victorious fighter stood over her fallen opponent, her face a mix of shock and exhilaration, as medical staff rushed into the cage. It was a stark reminder that, no matter how skilled or dominant a fighter may seem, one perfectly timed strike can change everything in an instant. Another bone-chilling moment occurred when a grappling-heavy fighter, not known for her striking, landed a devastating counterpunch that would go down as one of the most shocking knockouts of the year. She had been losing the stand-up exchanges for most of the fight, struggling to close the distance against a much more experienced striker. But as her opponent overcommitted to a punch, she slipped aside and unleashed a thunderous overhand right that landed with pinpoint accuracy. The sound of the punch echoed through the arena as her opponent's head snapped back, her body collapsing before she even realized what had happened. The referee didn't even hesitate before diving in to stop the fight, recognizing immediately that the fighter was out cold.